Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Hold me.
Okay, good morning, councillors, and welcome to today's meeting for the infrastructure for the 7th of March 2023. Firstly, I'd like to open the meeting and acknowledge our traditional custodians of the land in which we meet, the Darumbal people, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. I extend that respect to our neighbouring Aboriginal peoples within our local government area, the Gungaloo Nation people, the Barada, Kabalbara and Yadamarala people. Also acknowledge the Torres Strait Islanders peoples who his land is in the Torres Straits but who live and work on Aboriginal land. Councillors, we have a number of leave of absences for today. Councillor Wickerson has granted leave previously and Councillor Kirkland likewise, so I'm happy to move. They don't need that. Just move on to the confirmation of the previous minutes, from the Infrastructure Committee from the 7th of February 2023. Could I have a mover and a seconder with regards to those? Move Councillor Smith, seconded Deputy Mayor Councillor Fisher. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Declarations of interest in matters on the agenda. Councillor Smith has a declaration.
Yeah.
Thanks, Councillor Smith.
Yes, Mr Mayor, in 10.1, Mount Morgan Water Supply Pipeline Project, and that's my normal conflict.
In the project
It's the
delivery.
carting of water as well.
Yep.
And also the pipeline goes past my brother and my sister's and brother-in-law's property. And I'll deal with the conflict by leaving the room and staying away from the place where the meeting is being held when the matter is being discussed and voted on.
Okay, we might leave that item on the project reports till last and then and deal with the others prior to that. Business outstanding nil, public forums deputations nil, and petitions nil, and delegates reports nil. Moving on to our officers' reports. 10.1, the project delivery capital project report for February 2023. I'll ask Andrew to present that report, and if we could leave just the Mount Morgan pipeline and project till the end, and we'll deal with that separately, if that's okay.
Certainly.
Thanks very much, Andrew.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr.
Sorry.
Mayor. Yeah, the CEO did suggest to me to put it to the table, but with the water treatment, yeah, okay. So with the water treatment facility, I've talked to the CEO, and I don't actually have a conflict with that because the water would be coming from the dam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's separate to the
Separate to
project,
the
two
other-
projects?
yeah.
Okay. Righto. Thanks for that, Councillor Smith. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Morning, councillors. Mayor. Just presenting the February capital project status report. So the first project, Alliance Maintenance Facility. So the final planning for the landscaping component, which is our funded part of the project, is completed this week. And they're still working on the power connection for the hangar. So we've got Alliance Airlines have installed the mains from the hangar back to the transformer location and are now working from the power source back to the transformer with some civil works, some underboring activities happening at the airport. They anticipate probably mid-April before they get the power on out there. The Botanic Gardens and Zoo redevelopment, the visitor hub, the tender package has now been completed and that goes to the market this weekend. The playground's obviously been finalised and completed, it's been certified and there's an official opening this Saturday, I understand. Design and construct of the new eagle enclosure, that work's continuing, the demolition work's happening on site. They intend to, I think, start the installation footings end of this week. They're just pending building approval. The car park tender, so that has been awarded. There is a pre-start meeting on Thursday, so I imagine within the next fortnight works will get underway in construction of the car park. And our project manager's working with the zoo team just to have a look at the old aviary and what can be done there to convert that over to a lemur enclosure. Glenmore Water Treatment Plant, so work continues out there on the filters. So filter 9, that's the one that they've started. The slab's now been poured on that, and I understand they're going to be installing the under drains this end of this week, and then the rebuilding of that will continue, and then obviously following that they'll take another one offline and undergo the same sort of process. The civil construction for the polymer dosing continues, so there's been some slabs poured out there and access platforms erected. Proving of the magnesium dosing systems still underway. The control room, I understand that they've now sheeted the walls and the ceiling on the control room, so the reconstruction of the control room's underway. We've got a tender out there for a new joinery to go into that facility. Stage 2 tender did go out. We did receive one only offer, which was well over our budget, so we're reviewing that whole stage and works around that and the procurement process. Glenmore Water Treatment Solar Farm, so the contract's been awarded to GEM Electrical. They're liaising currently with Ergon just to finalise all the approval process with Ergon, and they've obviously started procurement of all the solar panels. I think end of March, early April is their intent to commence on site. The Gracemere and South Rockhampton sewage strategy. So penstocks have been installed out there. The caustic dosing system, we had issue of variation, but the costing on that coming well over our expected estimate, so we'll work through that a bit further. The recycled water, effluent water pump station, so the chamber's installed, all the pumps are installed, the cut-ins have been done, valve boxes formed up and installed, and they're now forming up the slab, so that'll work through a process of closing that project out. They've still got obviously the electrical and SCADA system to do on that. There's planning works underway for new sludge pumps to be installed at South Rockhampton. So we had Hunter H2O up here a couple of weeks ago. So they spent a couple of days at the plant just understanding how it works and what we need to do to be able to take these additional loads from Gracemere. The sludge lagoon desilting, dewatering works. So Gracemere's been completed. South Rock is completed, and they're probably about 30-40% done at North Rocky. So that work will continue on. Planning for the new South Rocky STP, so very early stages there. So we'll get together with FRW and develop a brief to go out there to start looking at planning of that replacement sewage treatment plant. And Haslam will commence next week out on site at Gracemere to install a slab for the new aeration system to go into the Gracemere sewage treatment plant. Hail damage insurance claim. All that work bar the roof at the North Rocky sewage treatment plant's been done, so we're looking at possible extension there. So that's just there's a little bit of interaction with that upgrade project over there. So we'll just hold that until we're confident we can move ahead with that one. Mount Morgan Pool. So we've awarded that contract to Taylor Builders. So we've planned to have a pre-start meeting with them on the next week, Wednesday next week. So as soon as we have that, they'll step into the design activities and approval activities, and possibly some early demolition work up on there. But once we've met with them and understand their program, we can report back to council. North Rockhampton sewage treatment plant. So construction's continuing over there. They've completed the epoxy coating of the inlet works and currently testing that at the moment. The concrete works is about 80% completed now on the bioreactor and oxidation ditch. So they'll work through those components. The 2 slabs were poured on the clarifier, and they're now erecting the walls around the clarifier. The blower building, that's been completed, and the HV building, the deck was poured 2 weeks ago on that, so that's now complete. They've started to install all the mixed liquor lines, and they're underway with their design development for the electrical component. HV transformers, we have them procured. So once that HV building slab is cured, we'll start to install the HV transformers and look at a power change over there. Mount Morgan Water Treatment Plant. So treatment plant.
Oh no, sorry, yeah.
Yep. So the contractor up there, so that they've obviously worked on the structural components, refurbished all those, painted those. They've installed new structural supports for the lamellar tubes, and they're preparing now just to install all the PVC pipe fittings. They'll commence, I think, working with council operators the next few weeks to just test that facility prior to bringing it online.
Okay, thanks very much, Andrew. We'll just ask any questions from Andrew there on any of those updates. Probably just mine, Andrew, with the Gracemere and South Rocky strategic plan. What sort of date would that be on the design strategy for those facilities there in the report there?
For the upgrade of South Rocky, I imagine we've probably got about 12 weeks of design work with Hunter H2O. Yeah, they've been up, obviously assessed the condition of the site. They do have to come back and have a look at the aeration system. Yeah, they're just working through, I suppose, the strategy to what needs to do to increase its capacity and take the load from Gracemere. So
And the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant, the assessment of that first pond is the filters, was that, I think we were waiting to hear whether how bad it was, or...
Yeah, well, look, I understand it's what's been rebuilt, so once we get it online, get the new filter media in, we can see how efficient it is, what capacity it has. So.
And then that's fine with Peter and...
Yeah, I think you're asking about the structural condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That assessment has been done. They're doing the repairs required to the minimum, is
Yep.
what I understand. And we're waiting really to go through this one filter process to see how it works, how involved, how long it's going to take. Because we've obviously got quite a few filters to do, and there's this pressure to get it done versus how many filters can you take off safely and make sure water supply is there. So that's the balancing act we've got ahead of us.
Yep.
We really want the contractor to have the confidence to understand the work involved, and that's what this filter 9's about. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks, Peter. Andrew, thank you. Councillor, any questions on that? Just the it's great news to see that the tender's been awarded for the Mount Morgan pool. It's great to see that one get underway. Okay, if there's no further questions on that one, I might seek a mover in a second that we receive that part of the report. Move Councillor Smith, seconded Councillor Fisher. I'll put that. Those in favour, those opposed, motion's carried unanimously. And we'll move on to that last part of the Mount Morgan water pipeline project, but Councillor Smith steps out of the room while we get an update from Andrew on that one.
Yep, so Mount Morgan Water Pipeline Project. So the award of all the pipes and fittings that we have Claver Pipes contracted to do that. They're expected the first load to come end of this month, early April. We're currently out on site at the parcel then that we've leasing off Education, clearing that at the moment and putting our security fence around that so we can take the first delivery of those pipes. Tender evaluation continues and post-tender negotiations are happening in relation to the installation of the pipes, pipeline and the pump stations.
The reservoir, but council's component of it is where are we with that?
The reservoir,
At Lucas Street?
yeah, this is the
Separate.
entire tender. This is the pipe construction and the reservoirs.
Okay.
And
Righto.
we're still effectively adjudicating and assessing the tenders.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, councillors, any questions with regards to that report update? If not, I'm happy to move Mount Morgan project supply pipeline review be received. Seconded Councillor Fisher. We'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Could we invite Councillor Smith back into the room, please? Yes, sure. Thanks very much, Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Morning, Mayor and councillors. This particular report is really just an update on a project that's been happening in the background. It's not necessarily a council project as such. It's one that's been delivered by Department of Transport and Main Roads, but council is a significant funding contributor to it. And if you look back and councillors may recall in history that there was a need to shut down the current boat ramp at the Port Alma facility for operational reasons at the port and the particular materials that they cut through that port. And there were some negotiations at the time that resulted in that particular boat ramp will be closed down once two replacement facilities are built, one into Inkerman Creek and one into Casuarina Creek. Now the Inkerman Creek boat facility received development approval back in May 2021 and it was tendered, and AMC won that tender and took possession of the site back in October 2021. Councillors might recall that I've mentioned a number of times that there is a need to do the earthworks there and let it sit for 12 months so that the marine clays underneath can consolidate. In December 2022, the designers of that facility were happy that it had consolidated enough, and AMC were allowed to go back on site to finish the works. Now, I believe they're out there now, or should be out there now, and we're looking to have those works completed by mid-April. Apart from that, the only other work that we're doing in relation to that particular facility is that Council has a responsibility to open up or organise the site tenure, which is opening up road reserve around that facility. We're currently working with the Department of Resources on doing that and sorting out the surveying requirements to be able to register that as road reserve. To date, we've spent $350,000 of Council's money contributing to that facility. I expect DTMR will seek the rest of the 1.1 million, another 750,000 before the end of the financial year, which once the facility's up and running, I think we're obliged to hand over. The Casuarina Creek boat ramp facility, this one has finally received development approval back in November 2022, and tenders are currently out for that facility. The tenders have closed. Tender assessment is currently underway on that. Now, presuming that a contractor may be appointed sometime in April and allowing for that 12 months of consolidation of the earthworks, I can't see that facility be up and running before the latter half of 2024. With regards to the site tenure, which Council are responsible for as well, once again it'll end up being road reserve, but this one has been a little bit complicated in so much as the site currently sits on unallocated state land, but it also has two of Cheetham Salt's mining leases sitting over the top of it, so there was some protracted negotiations there over a 2-year period to establish an agreement between Council and Cheetham that allowed for an element of their mining rights to be preserved, but still allowed us enough site tenure surety to be able to operate that facility on that site. So that agreement effectively allows them to pass some mining facilities. The discussions were around a possible brine pipeline or a brine channel through that site sometime in the future. They have no plans at this stage to do that, but they want to preserve the right to do that. The way we managed to do that is designate a particular corridor in which they could pass that through, which didn't affect the main part of the car parking area, just the side access road through it, which would have to be dug through and then reinstated after they put the pipeline or the channel through. That's really all I wanted to touch on. It was just by way of an update, because it's a significant budget figure in the capital budget, but it's not one that is really front of mind and open for everyone to see, because it's located at Port Alma, and it's DTMR who are carrying the responsibility to deliver the project. But happy to take questions.
Thanks, Martin. Again, it's one that's come through from a lot of community consultation during the recreation fishing development strategy as well. So there was a lot of interest in that facility and those facilities coming online and opening up that section of the Fitzroy River for the tourism opportunities as well. Councillor Smith?
Yeah, just a comment and probably a question. Yeah, that's great to see, especially the Inkerman Creek one coming along, and should be done this year anyway, and the other one next year. I'm sure the fishing people will be happy, but also at the Bejeweled ratepayers, they often ask what's happening with those boat ramps, because they were sort of talked about a long time ago, probably 7-8 years ago probably. It was a long time getting off the ground. And some of the best fish and prawns are caught down at Port Alma, they reckon. Does that mean that you won't be able to go into Port Alma now to fish, like where people do at the moment? That will be closed, and they'll have to go to these.
I expect that's the case. The idea basically is the current boat ramp and I suppose public access to the boat facilities or port facilities will be closed by Glasson Port.
Yeah, because I think it was a bit of security concerns as well, with
That's
people
correct.
going in there.
Yeah, it had a dual purpose there for that that facility, which is an operation there that for the explosives out of Bejeweled. Councillor May, there's
Thanks very much, Mr Mayor. Just through you to Martin, if that's right. Martin, in regards to public access being restricted from Port Alma, will that happen once both boat ramps have opened, or once Inkerman's open, will they close that one down? Do you know?
No, the way the agreement is currently structured is that the current Port Alma facility cannot be closed until both facilities
To both.
are operational.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Righto. If there's no further questions on that report, I'm happy to move. Seek a seconder. Councillor Smith. Put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Councillors, that brings us to the end of that massive agenda that we've had on that report today. There's no questions, councillors, urgent business? If not, I'd just like to thank the officers for their reports, and thank you, council, for your involvement, and I'll close the meeting. Thank you.